let's unpack this. Today we are diving into a review of, well, a film that really took over last year, Greta Gerwig's Barbie.
It really did.
Yeah.
Became a whole phenomenon. And the source we're using for this deep dive is a review from Moviescramble.
Right. So our goal today, our mission, is to really dig into just this one review and, pull out what it tells us. What does it say about the film's cultural impact, its artistic side, and crucially...
Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah.
From this reviewer's perspective, at least.
Exactly, because the hype was huge.
Oh, definitely. And the review gets right into that, placing it as one half of Barbenheimer. Remember
How could you forget? The waves of pink everywhere, people actually posing in those life-size Barbie boxes.
Yeah, the commitment to the pink aesthetic was something else.
Yeah.
Just massive audience participation.
It really was. But this review, it tries to cut through the surface,
Yeah.
Beyond the perfect hair, the amazing wardrobe, the oh-so-plastic look.
It asks the big question, is there actually anything substantial here?
Or is it just, maybe, a really fancy way to sell more dolls in the end?
And, well, this review answers that pretty quickly, lands on a message.
Okay.
No, it's not just a cash grab. It suggests there's actually a deeper message.
Okay, so let's get into that message. What does this review say the film is actually trying to communicate? And maybe more importantly, who did it connect with, according to this source?
Well, the review argues that if dolls are sold because of the movie, it's not because it was some, cynical marketing push.
Because it resonated.
Exactly. It connected with people. And it highlights the impact across different age groups, which is interesting.
Oh, so?
For young girls, the review sees this really powerful idea emerging, that they don't have to be put in a box.
Right. Not just there to look good.
Precisely. That they don't exist simply just to look good. That's quite a message the review pulls out for young viewers.
That feels pretty significant. And the review says it wasn't just kids.
No, not at all. It notes that women in their 20s and 30s were also reacting strongly, feeling fired up, feeling seen.
Seen. That's a strong word.
Yeah. So connecting with both younger and older female audiences like that, well, according to this review, that's a big part of why it sees the film as more than just, product placement. It hits something real.
Okay, so that's the message it identifies. How does the review describe the actual story, then? The characters carrying this message?
So it sets up the basic plot. Margot Robbie playing stereotypical Barbie, living this, perfect, easy life in her dream house. Everything's great.
Until it isn't.
Right. Suddenly she starts having these intrusive thoughts, which is not very Barbie.
No, and then the physical imperfections appear. The review mentions flat feet and even cellulite, the horror.
Exactly. That's the inciting incident as the review lays it out.
And it connects this directly to someone in the real world.
Yeah, to a young girl who is basically fed up with Barbies. That's the link.
Interesting. So Barbie's journey starts as a kind of quest to restore Barbie to perfection, to fix herself by fixing this connection.
That seems to be the initial drive, yeah. And the review mentions the huge cast, loads of cameos.
Right, probably sent people scrambling for IMDb.
Probably. But it really focuses on the main three, Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and America Ferrera. It calls them absolutely flawless together.
Okay, let's zoom in on those performances based on what the review says. Margot Robbie as Barbie.
Starts off sweet, charming, just as you'd expect.
Yeah.
But the review praises her for adding nuance and depth, especially as the character starts to change to emotionally unravel.
So not just a caricature.
No, the review found it a fun and layered role, and it even gives a shout out to her dance skills shining through.
Nice. And America Ferrera as Gloria, the review seems particularly impressed there.
Oh, definitely. Her big speech calls it impassioned, and one of the most impactful you'll hear. It actually says it got rounds of applause, cheers, and whistles in screenings.
Wow, that's quite a reaction described there. What did the speech actually say, according to the review?
Well, it praises Gerwig's writing as on point. It says the speech underlines how difficult it is, just to navigate the world as a woman. A rallying cry.
Does it include any specific lines?
It does. It quotes, "It is literally impossible to be a woman. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us."
Oof. Yeah, you can see why that might get applause. That ties right back into the core message the review mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. And then there's Ken, Ryan Gosling.
What did the review make of him? Ken seemed to get a lot of attention.
It calls him equally top form, praises his facial expressions, his comic timing, says it shows he's a real all-rounder.
Any specific Ken moments highlighted?
Yeah, a couple. calls his line about thinking the patriarchy involved more horses hilarious,
Okay, yeah.
and his total commitment to his Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Right, the Mojo Dojo Casa House.
And his song, I'm Just Ken, the review describes it as punchy and predicts it'll, quote, stay in your head, which it probably did for many. But what's really interesting is how the review uses Ken to talk about some audience reactions and, well, criticisms.
Oh, how so?
It describes Gosling's Ken as creating a Diet Coke break moment on screen, which is quite a phrase.
A Diet Coke break moment.
Yeah.
Implying what, exactly? Something iconic, distracting.
Maybe iconic, but also maybe highlighting a certain kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Because it immediately follows up by mentioning specific complaints the reviewer observed.
What kind of complaints?
Things like male critics and viewers complaining that it's ridiculous that this character only exists to be looked at by women.
Ah, okay. Flipping the usual script, basically.
Exactly. And linked to that, complaints that the film's matriarchal system leaves the male characters with nothing to do, making them feel worthless, which the review connects to Ken's sort of mid-doll crisis.
That's a fascinating point the review brings up, how different parts of the audience might have read that character and the world.
It is. But the review doesn't just leave it there. It offers its own take.
Which is?
That while Gerwig seems to have all of the awareness of what she's doing with Ken and these themes...
She's doing it deliberately.
Right. The review believes that some viewers are clearly missing the point being made.
So the review is suggesting the portrayal was intentional commentary, but maybe it flew over some heads. Or was misinterpreted.
That seems to be the review's interpretation of that dynamic, yeah. A really key insight from this source about how the film was received and debated.
Okay, moving on from the characters and themes, does the review touch on the technical side, the look and feel?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It highlights several elements it found really impressive.
Like the costumes. I remember those being talked about a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Duran's costume design is called flawless throughout. And the review notes it gave a hit of nostalgia for viewers of a certain age.
Bringing back memories. What about the sets? The dream house.
Sarah Greenwood's set design gets called incredible. The review loved how it brought the dream house to life, like straight out of the Argos catalog, as it puts it.
The Argos catalog,
Yep.
very specific.
Yeah, and it mentions little details like the toaster waffles and shower noises, things that made it feel real in a plastic way.
Nice touch. Anything else? Makeup? Music?
Yep. Ivana Primarac's makeup gets praise for making the dolls look perfectly plastic fantastic. Mentions dreamy sparkles and pearly pink pouts.
Capturing that specific look.
And Mark Ronson gets a nod for assembling the soundtrack, which the review says is full of fluffy disco bops, keeping things light and fun.
Okay, so pulling all of this together, what's the review's final verdict, its overall assessment?
It concludes that Barbie manages to balance humor and humanity really successfully, and that it was perhaps not the movie that many expected.
Meaning it wasn't just fluff.
Right. It argues that while it delivers on the fun stuff, the outfits, the dance numbers, and does them well, its real strength, for this reviewer anyway, is the thoroughly poignant message.
And let's just restate that message one more time as this review frames it.
It boils down to, you don't have to conform to certain expectations. You don't have to fit in a box.
Right.
You can be yourself with all the chaos and contradictions that might bring and still be a good person.
That's a pretty powerful takeaway message.
And the review ends by saying that reminder, just that message on its own, is ultimately worth the ticket price.
So this deep dive into the Moviescramble review, it really has pulled out this core theme of self-acceptance, of not needing to fit neatly into a box. And we also saw how the review looked at the audience reaction, especially around Ken, suggesting maybe the film's point wasn't always grasped as intended, at least according to the specific source. Thinking about everything this review highlights, what stands out to you, our listener, about how this film, as described here, seems to challenge expectations or explore what identity means?